Because they have left out their two top scorers in qualifying. Sabrine Elouzi, who scored 7, as well as their all-time top scorer, Mariam Huij, got 4 in the qualifying campaign. So numbers 9 and 10 are going to have to start from off the bench, leaving the onus on some relatively more inexperienced players. Before kick-off can happen, there'll be a minute's silence for Peter Rufai, the former Nigeria goalkeeper who died on Thursday, aged 61, a legend in Nigerian football.
Of silence in honor of legendary Nigerian goalkeeper Peter Rufai.
Stellar side. So the minute's silence over, and it's just worth reminding ourselves of some of the players that Peter Rufai did play alongside. JJ Okocha, Sunday Elise, Rashidi Yakini, Finidi George, Daniel Amakachi, and Emmanuel Amunike, amongst others. Quite a team. We're talking, though, now today about the women's game, and after what I'm sure was a sobering moment for the Super Falcons, we will surely get this match underway. As ever, a countdown
6, 5
will take us towards kickoff.
3, 2, 1.
And we are underway in Nigeria's bid to reclaim their title. Once again upon us, they have only failed to win 3 out of the previous 12 editions of the WAFCON. And that was in 2008, 2012, and now 2022. And immediately after 2008, they rebounded and won the tournament in 2010. And they did the same in 2014 after failing in 2012 as well, and on both occasions Desire Operanozie scored in the final. What sort of a game are you expecting to see today, Desire?
Well, I have absolute confidence in the Super Falcons. I expect them to win this game, come out on top, all 3 points, and I think it's going to be a very good morale booster for them, you know, getting into the games subsequently.
Confident stuff, and there is reason to be confident as well, because in Nigeria's 6 previous meetings with North African opposition at the WAFCON, they have scored a staggering 25 goals and conceded just the 1. And that one came last time out here in Morocco in the 2022 tournament, and drawing with the Atlas Lionesses 1-1 before being defeated on penalties, meaning they missed out on the final. But Tunisia, meanwhile, will point to the fact that then their previous encounter with Nigeria, because there has only ever been 1 previous clash between these sides at this tournament, back in 2008, well, the Tunisians managed to hold Nigeria goalless in that game in Bata in Equatorial Guinea, and they would be absolutely delighted if they could repeat that feat today. Osinachi Ohale just looking long to the left-hand side. Nice switch of play. Nigeria playing from left to right, all in green, and Tunisia all in white from right to left. As we see, just Rinsola Babajide just caught a fraction late, which means that Nigeria have a free kick. And immediately they send up some bodies from the back, the likes of Osinachi Ohale and Plumtree as well, Ashley Plumtree, the 27-year-old now based in Saudi Arabia, the former England international at youth level. So will this be an opportunity for Nigeria to to take an early lead. We saw a blisteringly star goal in Rabat last night. Swung in it goes, and it is in the back of the net, and there were just 4 minutes on the clock. And Nigeria's Super Falcons have scored already. Asisat Oshuala celebrates the goal. Who else? Well, there was a fairly routine delivery into the area which Tunisia simply did not deal with. And a woman who has already won 3 WAFCON titles, showing her intentions very, very early on as well. And how she enjoyed that goal as well. Look at the smiles. Look at the celebration as well. You can see the ball coming in. Desire Operanozie, your thoughts?
I think it's a good start. It was a good delivery from Babajide, and Assad was just at the right place at the right time. You know, Ashley had missed, and then Assad was just behind Ashley Plumtree. It was a good finish, good start, and what a way to announce her way back into the team.
And she really enjoyed the goal as
well,
didn't
she did.
You
she
can
did.
see what it means to her, but you know her far better than I do. And what would it mean to her?
It means a lot. You know, strikers, you know, were big on celebrations. We're big on goal celebration, and you could see that there's a lot of training, there's a lot of practice that went into that. You know, after scoring, all 3 of them had to run to the corner of the field just to make sure they play all of that out. So it's really.
Well, I thought you were talking about practicing the set piece delivery, not in the celebration.
No, the celebration. I mean, a lot of training, a lot of practice goes into it as well. So. Yeah.
Let's be honest, that was just the start that Tunisia would have feared. The last thing they wanted to do was to concede early. And that is precisely what has happened to them. So, Asisat Oshuala just beginning to atone, I'm sure, in her own mind, for the frustration of that ligament injury in the opening game of the 2022 WAFCON for the Super Falcons. Came against South Africa, and they were beaten on the day, Nigeria, by 2-1, just as they were beaten by South Africa in 2018 as well. And prior to that, they were unbeaten in their first game in the first 10 WAFCONs. A dream start, and at the other end, Tunisia have gone up and got themselves a corner, and they've entered Nigerian territory for the first real time in the game, but hardly surprising given there were just over 5 minutes on the clock, and a few of those were spent with Nigeria celebrating off the field. What sort of delivery is going to come in? Deep. Cleared away up to Oshuala, who started this game just as Barbara Banda of Zambia, the reigning African women's footballer, did against Morocco last night. She needed less than a minute to score. And just a little over 3 minutes. Excuse me, Oshuala, a little over 3 minutes. And I guess the question is now, how many more might she go on and get? That's the thing that will be in her mind, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I mean, this is... it's a very good start for her. First match, first goal, getting it this early. We might get to see her, you know, go all the way for a hat-trick. We never really know. But then this will be a motivation for her to go all the way to get more goals.
And it's just what she needs as well, because she's not been in the best scoring form at club level for Bay FC in the United States in the National Women's Super League. There are 11 games so far this season, yet to get off the mark. So that will give her confidence a great boost, no?
Absolutely, absolutely. And nothing gives a striker confidence more than scoring a goal. So getting this one will totally, definitely bring back her confidence level.
She's very much leading the line alone. Oshuala. She will be ably supported by the likes of Rashida Ajibade behind her on the flanks, Tony Payne and Babajide. And here is Ajibade, such a key player in the Nigerian side, but that's my thoughts, your thoughts. Who do you think really sort of cements this team and makes it come alive?
I think it's the defense and the midfield, because the level of work the defense do kind of actually gives the team the strength and the motivation to play well and play better, and then the fluidity from the midfield to the forward, the connection as well. So I think the more credit needs to go to the defense and midfield.
Striker praising defenders and midfielders.
Of course.
The platform
Yeah.
to build on is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly.
So Nigeria in possession with Oluwatosin Demehin, 23 years of age, plays her football in Turkey. And this is her first WAFCON. She'll be keen to impress her. A few in the Nigeria squad who haven't played in the competition before, but then hardly surprising given that the 2020 tournament was cancelled because of the coronavirus pandemic. I'm sure that there are some sitting on the bench as well who are itching to get on. Jennifer Echegini, one of those who said she watched the last tournament here in Morocco 3 years ago, saying to herself, one day it will be my turn. Well, she's on the bench and she will undoubtedly, I'm sure, get her chance in this tournament. The neat football passing play from Tunisia, who come here under coach Kemal Sada, who said that his stated aim upon taking charge was to mix youth with experience. He wanted to bring down the average age of Tunisia as well. He says that they've gone from an average age of 28 down to 22. And he's hoping that the older heads can guide the younger ones forward. And this will all be very much part of the learning process for them. He's realistic about the aims of this tournament, saying that obviously Tunisia want to get out of the group, but equally what he really wants is to, in his words, build a great Tunisian team in 3 to 4 years so that we can compete with ambition in future WAFCONs. And there he is, Kemal Sada, the 48-year-old, appointed in July last year. Done a lot of coaching of junior teams in Tunisia, boys rather than girls. But he's really enjoyed his experience so far in the women's game. Nigeria winning back possession. And a bit of space here for Ajibade. 2 players coming in on her. She managed to ride the tackle. Sandwiched between Sana Guermazi and another Tunisian player, but she's absolutely fine and got a little apology as well. Norhen Batoumi. As Pluncher just plays it back into Demehin, who was an unexpected starter at the 2023 Women's World Cup, I would say. How do you think Demehin got on? Because there's not a lot of people expecting her to start alongside Ohale at the back during that tournament 2 years ago, but she did incredibly well.
Yeah, I mean, she's one player that, you know, when she got the opportunity to be in the team, she, you know, utilized it. She's one defender that is very committed, always I mean paying attention to details and always, you know, giving her best at every point in time. So I'm not surprised that she was able to break into the team, and now she's a perfect pair with Ohale. Really happy for her and what she's doing on the field. You could see the energy she brings into our defense and how detailed she defends and all of that. So I think she's done a great job so far.
Alozie out to Tony Payne on this right-hand side. To the byline she goes. Can she get the ball into the middle? Well, she just ran into 3 white shirts, and then she's adjudged to have fouled her opposite number as well. Shireen Lamti, wearing number 19 for Tunisia, 30 years of age, plays her football in Italy with Cesena. And in her second WAFCON after her debut 3 years ago. But just a nice spell of possession for Nigeria on the edge of the Tunisian area. You talk about a rock-solid defence. Just how important would you say that is to going all the way in this tournament, which is obviously a clear aim for Nigeria?
Well, what we've seen so far, they've only played for 14 minutes now, and the defense looks very solid. And this line of defense, I've played with them, and it's tested and trusted with this quality of players that we currently have. I think we can actually withstand any attack in this tournament.
Confident words from Desire Okoronozie, who was with Nigeria at that 2023 Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. Nigeria going out unbeaten effectively, because they managed to avoid defeat in the group stage. They beat host Australia, drew with Canada and the Republic of Ireland, and then up against England in the round of 16. It was goalless, and when it went to penalties, with the European side winning by 4 goals to 2. Payne. Now she's leading her opposite number, a merry dance. Alozie swings it in left-footed, but that's too deep for Babajide. And Tunisia have themselves a throw-in on the far side. What did you make of that Women's World Cup campaign 2 years ago? You must have been incredibly proud to have gone through it unbeaten, even though obviously you exited with your heads held high, surely.
Yeah, it was a very good tournament. It was a good outing. We showed resilience, we showed strength, and I mean, we went into the tournament being African champions, and a lot was expected from us, and we didn't disappoint. It was rather unfortunate that we were eliminated the way it happened, but then again, it's football. You know, we can only get better, and perhaps next edition we'll do better than we did the last one.
Nigeria have been at every single Women's World Cup since the tournament's inception in 1991. They got to the quarterfinals that year, winning 2 games, scoring 8 goals. Those are statistics they've never repeated. And as Desire Okoronozie says, that's still all part of the building process for the future. Now Ajibade picks it up and plays it out to Plumtree. Back into Demahi. Nimatu Ayinde, such a familiar figure in the base of that Nigerian midfield. Here she is on the ball, options to her left, which she plays it into Plumtree. And she looks long instantly. Ajibade, little touch from Ajibade again. Payne, Oshuala free in the middle if she can find her. Well, it came to her at a difficult angle, and she couldn't wrap her foot around the ball, Oshuala. And we got a little touch off a Tunisian player as well, and real spaces there for Nigeria to exploit.
Yeah, that was a very good play from the Nigerian team, and the final pass should have, I mean, Tony Payne should have done better with that delivery, but unfortunately the ball didn't get to Asesa Oshuala. I'm sure she was her target, but then it was a very good piece of offensive display.
Well, Nigeria scored their opening goal with just 4 minutes on the clock from a set piece. Can they repeat the feat here? A host of green-shirted players in and around the penalty spot, and the referee just having a word, asking for nothing funny from Tony Payne in front of the Tunisian goalkeeper. Swung it left-footed, and it met again by a Nigerian head. And on this occasion, I think it took a little touch off a Tunisian on the way behind the goal. She got out well, and it was off the shoulder in the end, I think, and it didn't come off Tunisian's, hence the goal kick to the North African side. A wayward pass forward. Both these sides had to come through qualifying to get here. Nigeria, unusually for them, had to start in the very first round after finishing 4th at the tournament last time out, which is unfamiliar territory, really, for them, given their status as perennial winners of this tournament. But in the end, they didn't actually play in the first round after Sao Tome and Principe withdrew into the second round. Well, they met Cape Verde, and they saw off the island nation 7-1 on aggregate. As for the Tunisians, they met Niger in round 1 and were hugely convincing 12-1 aggregate winners before meeting Congo-Brazzaville in the second, a much tighter affair, but still they managed to rattle in the goals, 6 in total, conceding 3. And as said earlier, Eluzi and Ouij, well, contributed 11 of those goals, but at present they are warming the bench, as Nigeria are going to profit from that poor defensive play in the middle. Important stop from the skipper, or the stopper, Sulamai Jabrani, in goal for Tunisia. That was a real invitation to Plumtree. And can Nigeria still profit from it? Into the middle it goes again, headed away. Ajibade into Deborah Abiodun, who lets fly and does not trouble Sulaima Jabrani in the Tunisian goal. Well, it was just a pretty routine ball down the left-hand flank, and as you can see, that's a bit of defending that Rania Awina want to see again. An air kick over the ball, and she was very lucky that Nigeria couldn't exploit it.
Yeah, I think moments like this, it's very vital, and Nigerians should be able to, capitalize on such moments. So the Super Falcons need to do more with their ball delivery into the opponent's goal area. I think they need to do better on that.
Sana Gemazi doing well, finding Yosra Ben Haj Hamoud, who got a shot away for the Tunisians. We've not seen too much of them, nor Salma Zemzem, wearing number 20 for North African side. First decent ball forward for her, the 25-year-old striker for Tunisia. And they look a side that can hold on to it and pass it around Tunisia, and they just need to get a little bit of time and possession on the ball just to sort of settle them down and show themselves that they can deliver at this level.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nigeria have obviously had more ball possession, and they've passed it around a lot, and then sometimes when they try to hold on, when a player tries to hold on to it for too long, she ends up losing it at the end of the day. So I think we need to see more mobility with the team, with the players. Once the midfield have the ball, we need options, to continue to pass it around and continue to exploit the Tunisians.
And it is Nigeria, as you might expect, on the ball at present, and I imagine they will see rather a lot of it in the remainder of this game. Abiodun in late there, and that looks painful for Awina, who's beating the ground in frustration. Well, Abiodun is no stranger to risky challenges, and you can see the pain on the face of the 31-year-old Tunisian. And she was absolutely caught late. Abiodun being helped to her feet, but she shone at the 2023 Women's World Cup in the opening game for Nigeria against Canada, but it was then sent off in stoppage time, and she's the first player to go into the book today. As well, the number 13 for Nigeria, and deservedly so. She can have few complaints.
Yeah, Deborah, she's very physical. She's a very physical player, and once she's in the middle of the park, she always, goes for ball with so much aggression and strength and focus. I guess that's why, sometimes she's always in the books of the referees, and I think now that she's been cautioned, I think she needs to be careful.
And what do you make of the name as Conte, the Nigerian Conte.
Yeah.
Obviously, after N'Golo Conte, the France international and terrific midfielder.
Of course, I mean, we could all see how strong she is, how strong she moves around the field, you know, battling for every ball, trying to win every ball. So she have that mobility, that strength to, you know, keep going for 90 minutes plus. That's one thing you can't take away from her.
Force of Desire Nosier, as we see Kamal Sada, the Tunisian coach, on the screen. Just shortly before that, we saw Justin Madugu, the Nigerian in charge. He replaced the long-standing Super Falcons coach, Wendy Waldrum, the American, in September of last year. Waldrum resigning his post just 3 months or so before his contract was set to expire. Madugu, who's a long-standing assistant, stepping up on an interim basis, and nearly a year on. It's a role he still possesses. His task now is to see if he can win the trophy. He has a wealth of experience, having been in the Super Falcons camp for well over a decade. But now this is his chance to lead the side at a tournament on his own. And I'm sure he will relish the opportunity as Tunisia come forward here. A little break, and instead they choose to play it back. Rooney looks long. It looked like a hint of handball there as Zemzem got a flick onto it. No decision made by the referee, and a rare touch in this game for Nadozie, who's seen precious little of it. The Nigerian goalkeeper, 24 years of age. Moved to English football last week when signing for Brighton and Hove Albion on a free transfer from Paris FC. She is Nigeria's, I should say, Africa's best goalkeeper. Voted that twice in a row. What have you made of her move to go and play in England and after a decent spell in France, of course?
Well, I think it was time for her to move, if I'm totally honest, because she's been with the Paris FC for quite some time. I think it was time for her to move to maybe a bigger team. I expected her to probably move to Paris Saint-Germain or Lyon, or maybe one of those top teams in the UK.
And here she is, as Rooney just delivered that deep. Only a couple of Tunisian players forward for it, Zemzem and Germazi. And you would imagine they'll need a little bit more support if they're going to be able to breach this Nigerian back line. Or Halle. To Demahin. And there does seem a lot of space at times for Nigeria on the flanks. Alozio pushing up very, very high. Here's Ayinde. Ajibade. A little bit of pace on that and picked up by the Tunisians. And here comes Germazi. Zemzem. Twisting one way, then the other. And into the middle it goes. Well, there was no one there. You can see the interplay between Zemzem and Germazi. I was saying it just a moment ago that they need a little bit more support. And they just need to get numbers forward because there's good interplay seemingly between the two.
Exactly. My thought exactly, because, I mean, you could see the combination between both of them, but then two of them cannot do it alone. They need to like get more numbers up front, because the more numbers you have in the offensive area, the more likely you're going to, you know, get something out of an attack. So I think Tunisia need to really work on that.
Well, at Tunisia as well, I think they can be fairly enthused. I'll come to this thought in a moment. Elozier down the right-hand side, into the middle it goes, all the way across nearly the 6-yard box without anybody getting a touch on it. Plumtree now, from distance. Laid it forward. Was it a shot? Was it a strike? That's a strike from Ajibade. And it whistles past the right-hand post. And with nearly half an hour on the clock, 28 minutes or so, it is time for a cooling break here in Casablanca. And what I was going to say was that I'm sure that Tunisia were fearing the worst when they conceded that goal after just 4 minutes, as we see Ajibade's shot flash wide. But since then, Nigeria have actually not really forced Jabrani into a save in the Tunisian goal, and that can give them a little bit of belief that they can get back into this game.
Yeah, exactly. It can actually bring back the Tunisians' confidence, because I think so far Nigeria have really been, I wouldn't say wasteful, but I think we need to, connect pretty much when we get to the Tunisians' goal area, because we've had a couple of wrong passes in that final third. I think the coach needs to, talk to them about that. They need to be more patient when they get to the offensive area, and try not just crossing the ball like I saw the last action from Michel Alozie. You don't just cross the ball. Try and make sure you get to the target. You have somebody you're sending the ball to. If we can get that, I think we'll be able to connect all the attacks we've had so far. So if this continues like this, it can actually bring back the Tunisians' confidence to actually try and fight back.
Well, we see the goal again from Oshuala. I was going to say, you've obviously worked under Madugu for many years. How do you think he will do as a solo coach?
Well,
the head man.
I think he would do well. He's getting all the support he needs from the backroom staff. His coaching crew are there. There's also Pierre. He's Swedish. I was opportune to work with him sometime in the past, and I was happy they brought him back into the team with Pierre's experience as well. And I think, and also with Madugu's experience, they can combine together and make something positive out of the team.
So we are going to shortly be back underway. It's a pretty unusual kickoff as well, with most of the Nigerian players barely on the field when Tunisia decide to kick it off. Awina to the right-hand side into Miriam Bayahia. She goes down and has won her side a free kick as well. He'd love to be a fly on the wall in some of those team talks to hear exactly what is being passed on. Interested to hear the thoughts of Sada, the Tunisian. He said before the game that solidarity is the strength of his side. And they're going to have to show it. I'm just wondering what they would do if they could find a goal. Just the one win for them in their WAFCON history. Their first appearance was in 2008 when they finished bottom of the group, a pretty tough group back then, with South Africa, Nigeria and Ghana, who were more of a force nearly 20 years ago than they have been in recent times. And then it was 14 years before the Tunisians appeared again in the tournament. And they beat Togo, as said, narrowly beaten by Zambia in their second game. Zambia only scoring in stoppage time to inflict defeat. And then a 2-0 loss against Cameroon before they met South Africa, the eventual winners in the quarterfinals. And they only went down by a 1-0 against the South Africans. So some positives there, the negatives are that they have now gone over 400 minutes in this tournament without scoring. So that is the clear challenge for them. By Yahya. Forward into Zemzem, who tried to play it into Gamazi. Hale with the clearance, and not a particularly good one for Nigeria. Here's Zemzem again, showing twinkling feet to try and work it through to Gamazi again. Ajibade just hits it up over the halfway line for Nigeria. Not too impressed, I'd have thought, by the loose play at the back, and after that nice little bit of footwork, Summer Zemzem is down on the floor. She plays her football in France with Tonon Evian. She's hobbling a little bit, but it was just the clash with Ajibade. 4 goals in qualifying for Zemzem. You were mentioning Paris Saint-Germain not so long ago, Desire, and well, Zemzem came up through the PSG youth system and French youth caps as well before switching to Tunisia a couple of years ago. And the Tunisians just beginning to edge their way back into this game a little bit more. They're spending more time in the Nigerian path. They're winning free kicks and they're getting more time on the ball.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing I spoke about earlier, that since Nigeria couldn't, wrap this up earlier, it will definitely give the Tunisians confidence to fight their way back into this into the game, and that's what we're seeing at the moment.
Awina turning away from Oshuala. Plumtree comes forward to stop the ball getting into Zemzem. And only as far as a player in white. Betoumi back into the Tunisian skipper. Abessi. Shaima Abessi, 32 years of age now, but they've lost it in the middle of the park. Abiodun out wide to Payne. Ajibade ahead of her. She cuts inside onto her left foot. Tony Payne, and well, the strike lacked power. A comfortable save in the end for Jabrani. But it just opened up for Payne. And she just didn't get enough power on the strike.
Yeah, she didn't. I expected her to do better, playing. If you're going to shoot, you should probably have more power behind the ball, or maybe pick a spot and place it over or beside the goalkeeper, stuff like that. I expected better from her.
Tony Payne on the books of Everton ladies in England. I imagine her and Dozier will be having a few conversations. Oh, that was a nice pass forward from Payne into Oshuala, who just couldn't control it. Swung, missed, it hit her standing leg and looked a bit more promising. Plumtree fighting hard to stop Zemzem dispossessing her. And Zemzem too hard for the likes of the referee in Nigeria. Have a free kick, which they've taken quickly. Ohale, based in Mexico with Pachuca. Ajibade, being with Atletico Madrid in Spain for a while. Ayinde. Ajibade, into the middle it goes, and just sailed over the outstretched arm of Sulaima Jabrani. It was a dangerous ball in, but she had space to do better than that, and we've come to expect far better than that from her as well.
Exactly. That's what I said earlier. We need to, connect these balls, make sure we make them count. And I mean, that was obviously a very poor ball. We really need to do better when it comes to those crosses.
Imagine you might have let her have thoughts if she had delivered it like that into you.
Of course.
A big sheepish smile on the face of Desire Opera-Nozier. This is a nice turn. Oshuala going into the middle. It came at a difficult height, just bouncing right in front of Jabrani. With the 28-year-old doing well to smother it, and instantly she rolls it out to Awina. Tunisia looking to play it out from the back. This time she goes long and in the air up towards Zemzem. I'm not sure that's the best ball to play forward to Zemzem against the height of Plumtree. And here's Plumtree again. Forward into Abiodun, looking for Oshuala, who's on the charge. Little options inside her, and Uede just on the edge of the D. Abiodun trying her luck from distance, and that's not the cleanest strike either. And she needs to just about get this away. Betoumi. That's careless. Oshuala, Abiodun onto her left. This is a lovely play from Abiodun, and she's forced a really good save as well from Jabrani, who had to get down low. It just opened up for Deborah Abiodun, the 21-year-old, and she ghosted through onto her left. And she didn't get the power she would have wanted. Unselfish play from Oshuala, but she got a shot away and a smart save in the end.
Yeah, that was a good move from Abiodun. A very clever move, and she should have, had more power behind the ball. I'm sure it would have gone in, but that was a very clever move from her.
Well, N'Golo Conte's not exactly known for his goal scoring, so perhaps we can excuse Abiodun as well.
Of course.
Ajibade, dispossessed by Gamazi, and then she reacts by hauling down the 23-year-old Tunisian. It's those front two, Gamazi and Zemzem, who are causing most of the problems, and it'll be really interesting to see if Tunisia do bring on the likes, as I said, of Sabrina Luzi and Mariam Huij, and if they can play up top with them and cause some problems, or one wonders if they might have some knocks that they're carrying into this tournament. Plumche with a really important header to stop that getting all the way through to Zemzem. Here's Haj Hamoud playing a little 1-2 with Bay Yahia. And then she's clipped as well, and another free kick to the dismay of Abiodun, who puts her hands in her head in frustration. And also, I think, possibly a bit of concern. You don't want to be making too many fouls when you're on a yellow, of course.
I totally agree with you. She really needs to be very careful. We can't afford to lose her in this game. So she needs to be very smart with her tackling and her decisions.
So Rooney with the delivery for Tunisia. On this occasion, she leaves it, though, and steps away and just trudges back over the halfway line. 5 with her teammates on the edge of the Nigerian area. Out comes Nadozia. That's a really solid punch. She took the Tunisian player as well as she did so, and she's still down on the floor. And not for the first time. The player in white beating the ground in discomfort. And immediately the medical team are ushered onto the pitch as well. It was a very solid clearance from Nadozier. She didn't mind too much that Awina was in her way, but that's what you want to see from your goalkeeper. She fell very, very awkwardly, did Rania Awina, the 31-year-old. And she's going to need a bit of treatment, but decisive goalkeeping at the very least.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, taking control of your goal area as a goalkeeper, most especially with aerial duels, I think that's one of your primary assignments as a goalkeeper, and she did absolutely well in this aspect. And I think now that she's marked her territory, going forward, that striker would dare not to, come close and all of that. So I think she did absolutely well in that regard.
Well, Kamel Sada, the Tunisian coach, is having a word with the refereeing crew to express his displeasure at the forceful nature of Nadozier's challenge on Awina, who's 31 years of age and plays her football in Saudi Arabia. This second WAFCON. She made the move to Saudi Arabia last year after 6 seasons in Europe, playing in France, Austria and Romania. And one of the more seasoned and experienced internationals in this Tunisian side. Over a decade with the North Africans, who are, lest we forget, taking on the top-ranked side in Africa. Nigeria first on the continent, 36th overall. Tunisia 11th on the continent. Nigeria, Desire Operanozio says, needs to get their passing game together, slicker passing, and possibly they've been lulled into a full sense of expectation, thinking they're going to have a lot of time on the ball as they did in the opening half hour or so. And it was nice at the back, but you don't expect that from Oshuala, who just gave it away. Hoping to bring in Babajide, but she just hadn't made the run. Babajide. Ayinde now. Alozier. Just drops her shoulder and goes past Betumi. And it'll be a Nigeria throw as we edge towards half-time. A game which Nigeria started strongly, and then midway through the half, Tunisia began to get some sort of a foothold in. Bahale. Ayinde, Plumtree in space to her left. Here is Plumtree. To Abiodun. Nice little turn from her. Trying to play it into Oshuala. And Ajibade pick this up and keep it in and play it down the line to Alozier. To the byline she goes, Alozier. And she just made a little touch on Rooney as she went through, and Rooney's back up on her feet. No foul awarded. By playing in these opening games, it's always the key is not to lose. What sort of mindset have you taken into these games when you played in them?
Well, it comes with a lot of pressure. You know, it's your first game. You're really not too sure of what to expect. You know, pressure is on you, and you want to do better. You want to grab all 3 points, so you'll be confident going into the next game. So it comes with a lot of pressure, and we can see. I think that's one of the factors the Super Falcons are facing right now. I think it's part of what's affecting them, why they haven't really, gotten to connect pretty much well in the offensive third. I think these first games, they come with a lot of pressure.
You might be explaining something that stuttering start, let's say, from Nigeria. It's not been all bad by any stretch of the imagination, but they've yet to fully click. But teams obviously develop over the course of the tournament. After today, Nigeria take on Botswana on Thursday before finishing the group a week today in this stadium against Algeria. Tunisia, meanwhile, well, they'll meet their fellow North African rivals on Thursday before they face Botswana in their final game. Botswana, the lowest rated team according to football's world governing body FIFA in this competition, but they made it to the quarterfinals last time around, so it won't be easy for them. Oshuala just trying to take advantage here. In she is, Oshuala, striker goal, and really smart defending by Rooney, who was alert to the danger because Oshuala suddenly found herself in behind. And she managed to get her shot away, but it looked like there was little on. And then she managed to wriggle through, and it was good defending. She did exactly what she needed to do.
Yeah, I think that was a corner kick. She didn't get the final touch, and it was because I'm sure she would have done better if she had had the opportunity to pull the trigger. Well, good move by her, by the way.
Yeah, good movement, right idea to come inside.
Yeah,
but equally good defending as well, as said.
Exactly.
From Rooney, who's another who plays her football in Saudi Arabia with Eastern Flames, and all over the pitch, the left back for Tunisia. Here she is on the ball. She was named in the group phase best 11 at the last tournament, and she's certainly making her presence felt today as well. There'll be 5 additional minutes at the end of this opening period. Abiodun down the left-hand side. Babajide under pressure. That's well played from Babajide. Now behind the pass into Tony Payne, into the middle it goes. Well, I'm not sure she looked. She just played it in and hoped. Plumtree trying herself now to make some space. Payne has come through to Babajide. Babajide has goal, and Babajide doubles Nigeria's lead in first half stoppage time. And finally, Nigeria get a little bit of a cushion. They have huffed and they have puffed, and they scored a goal right at the start of the first period, and they've scored in stoppage time at the end of the first half as well. And a moment for Babajide to celebrate. You celebrated and very happy to see Nigeria get a little bit of daylight between them and Tunisia.
Yes, I think this is what we need in the team. You could say she knew what she wanted to do with that ball. She forced her way through the defense, and she knew she was going to pull that trigger, and you could see the way she moved, and you could tell that that ball was going in. No delay, no second thought about it, and I think that's what we need in that defense. Well done, bravo, what a that was, and I mean, what a time to have that goal before the end of the first half.
Absolutely, the timing could not have been better for Nigeria, could not have been worse for Tunisia, and I'm sure it's going to change the half-time team talk for Sada, the coach, and he's just having a word with an official there. He's really happy about something, but he's I think more frustration than anything serious, because he made his point and let it die down. You can see on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen that Tunisian coach in the cap. Well, here it is, actually. Perhaps he's right, because what I saw from him was him making the now very familiar sign of VAR.
Oh, wow.
We are going to go to VAR, and Kamel Sada will feel possibly vindicated as the referee comes over to look and to see. Let's have a look. Coming through. I think we need to go back a little bit before that to see anything wrong. There's certainly no hint of offside here. It's hard to see what he's complaining about. I wonder if we just need to take it back even further.
Maybe he's insinuating that there was a foul on this player, I think. Yes.
In the middle, exactly.
Yeah.
Oshuala, I think it was on Rooney. And that's what he's complaining about, but they're not impeding with the game, let's be honest, or the action. The decision to be made. She's taking her time to make it. The official from last night there was a VAR incident in the WAFCON game, but we never got to see it, but we're seeing it here time and again. Well, she's made her decision. What will it be?
It's a goal. Well done. Good decision. Bravo. Great decision. Because, I mean, she didn't interfere with play, and there was really nothing.
So the goal stands. The Super Falcons are 2 goals to the good. This is Operado's former Nigeria international. So no interference in the middle of the park, and well, the coach made his point and he got it checked as well. He can't ask for more than that.
Of course.
And the benefit of the VAR crew and the officials deciding it should stand. Could be even worse as this first period goes on. Options in the middle. Oshuala is one of them in there. They're delivering the cross. Ajibade now. Nigeria finishing the half strongly. Cleared away. Tunisian Hashoush, but it's still with the Nigerians. Ajibade is trying to win this back. Find a bit of space in a very crowded area. That's taken a deflection, go behind for a corner. Oshuala looking for her second of the game. I think it looped up off Rooney. And as I said, the Super Falcons ending this half really strongly, buoyed by that second goal. Oshuala just one touch to the side to make the space. And
yeah,
once again, not a bad bit of defending from Rooney.
I think the Tunisians got lucky there.
A lot of players in that 6-yard box, as you can see. More to do for Tunga, the Indian official. She's going to have to have more than one set of eyes if she's going to keep her eyes on all those players. And that's 14 in that small 6-yard area. So the final moments of this opening half. The record African champions. Into the goal it goes. And it's been ruled out, I believe. Confusion. Well, the Nigerian players don't know whether to celebrate or not. The Tunisian players are just walking away as if the goal has not been given. I think it has been ruled out. So she had a decision to make. So, Humphrey looking aggrieved. I wonder if this might go to VAR as well. Well, she just went in to challenge. Jabrani, the goalkeeper, didn't get too much on it, let's be honest. Ball is in the back of the net, and still they are pleading their case. Some Nigerian players, Oshuala leading the charge, so too the skipper, Ajibade. I think You see Tunga go back to the VAR screen. There's a word in her ear, as you can see. There is a VAR check as well. Well, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it should be a goal because there was really no contact against the goalkeeper. You know, I think that goal should have stand.
Well, you said a few moments ago that Tunisia got away with one, and they could conceivably have done so there in far more serious fashion. The first half whistle has blown. It's been a half with a fair amount of incident at either end of it. Just 4 minutes on the clock when Azizat Oshoala opened the scoring from a Nigerian set piece, and after the Super Falcons wasted openings and opportunities and space rather than clear-cut chances, and Sola Babajide doubled the lead in stoppage time, and then arguably it could equally have been 3 right at the death, but at half-time it is Nigeria 2, Tunisia 0.
It is that time of the week, NBA Life Sciences.
The game is bigger than just basketball. It's a whole lifestyle.
The first half comes to an end in dramatic fashion.
But NBA, double hot. You think I'm lying? Bona when are yourself.
This is where style meets skill and legends are made. Catch all the culture, the highlights, and the stories that make the NBA. NBA Live. Thursdays at 6:30 on SABC Sport Channel and Sundays at 1 on SABC2. Also available at your fingertips on SABC Plus. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport for the love of the game.
This is the Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024. Experience the huge contest between South Africa and Ghana this Monday, 7 July at 5:30 p.m. Streaming live on SABC Plus, SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4 and S3. Also available on SABC radio stations at 6 p.m. Where Africa competes, South Africa connects. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
This is the top 14. Another season of the collision between the best teams in the league. The intensity is building up. The ball has landed. Whoa! That tackle! The shoulders come in, the scrum is locked. Don't miss top 14 rugby action. Catch all this action for everyone on SABC Plus and SABC Sport. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
And of course, so we bring you the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Imdlalo yeningizimu Africa start their title defense Ikusasa against Ghana. You can catch that build-up live on SABC3 and as well as on SABC Plus at 5:30. And then on the 11th of July, South Africa take on Tanzania and wrap up their group stage games up against Mali. That will be on the 14th of July. All the encounters live on SABC3 as well as on the SABC Plus app. But for now, we bring you the 9-time champions of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Nigeria taking on a Tunisian side, making their third appearance at the tournament. It is Nigeria leading by 2-0. We look at how dominant they've been. Coach Sanong, you look at that ball possession, 69.7%. Really, Nigeria just outplaying Tunisia in every aspect of this game.
Yeah, you can see the stats. They display the superiority that the Nigerian team has. over the Tunisian team, 30% against almost 70% possession. And look at the shortest goal as well. 4 shortest goal for Nigeria, 0 for Tunisia. Look at the total shots, 12 shots. So you could see pass accuracy. That's why I'm impressed, because Nigeria are dominating possession. 81%, against 55% of Tunisia. So you can see that Nigeria has a lot of international players playing abroad in leagues like France, so in the US as well. So you could see that they are getting continuous technical education. Look at the likes of Ashwala individually, her vision and her skill, and Payne on the right, number 7, her speed, her penetration. So it's an interesting team, Aaron, to watch. I'm very impressed with how they continue to dominate.
And you speak about this Nigerian side just continuing to dominate. Aaron, we look at it, and Asisat Oshoala finding the opening goal. I mean, this is a 5-time Ballon d'Or African winner, and she plays for this Nigerian side.
5-time. I mean, that tells you how good she is. And you can see how explosive she is as a striker. The way she can be able to hold up the play, for oncoming traffic. And running behind defenders. I mean, you can see her structure as well. It's an athleticism, She deserved it. I'm not surprised actually that she's a 5-time Ballon d'Or. But this team, exactly what the coach is saying. This team is one team that stands out in this competition. Title contenders maybe. You see how actually, when that ball circulation, when they build up, the switch play, so they have a nice structure for me. They know when and how to do things. So this free kick as well, I mean, you can see there's lots of experience. I mean, we'll see actually where it started. But for me actually here, there's few errors that will highlight. Delivery, you can't really take nothing wrong out of that delivery. You look how they attack the first pole. The near post to score goals. Actually, having such a delivery, you got to be. They know where it's going to land, coach. They know actually which, where they have to attack in the box. So I think really, I mean, this team is quite a fantastic team with a lot of experience for me.
And of course, this is how Nigeria finds the opening goal here. It is, of course, the Bay FC player in Asisat Oshoala that finds this opener here. Lots of experience, has played for the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, as well as Barcelona. We'll take you through the goal now, just taking it through a illustration, just bit by bit, in terms of how Nigeria was able to capitalize on the areas that were being made by Tunisia, and in that eventually finding the opening goal in this game.
Actually, here I really want to touch on the defensive part of Tunisia. I mean, you look at that space. That space tells you that's where actually the run will be at. That's near post. You look at the green cycle there. That player that we have cycled, I thought that he was too far from where, if you can see that line of 5 players, to come a little bit. Yes, I mean, if you can see there's a green jersey there for Nigeria. Yes, I mean, played a big part in terms of drawing her out. But look at where these 2 players, the run will be at near post. So that highlight, the green highlight there, once you let an opponent to be in front of you, you're running into trouble. So you always have to make sure that you ball watch. You don't ball watch. You open your body posture and run with an opponent. In that situation, that's not what Tunisia have done, and it led to a goal.
It did lead to a goal,
and
yes.
Again, to add up on Aaron, I mean, one of the principles of a zonal line when you defend a free kick is first attack the ball.
Yep.
So now they don't attack the ball zonally. That means now you find spaces for the Nigerian attackers to actually exploit that space in front of them. So if you don't attack the ball, because they were not man marking, they were zonally marking, just protecting the spaces. So see the ball, attack the ball. And also the keeper as well. She could have anticipated and then just be a little bit earlier.
And we speak about the keeper couldn't have anticipated it. We see here another good opportunity, just unlucky for Nigeria because this is where they could have gone 2-0 up.
No, absolutely. I mean, you saw that Tunisia were in build-up. They were trying to build up and turn over, and it led to that that opportunity for Nigeria to score right there. I mean, you have 3 against 1. You need to deal with that situation in this level. Yes, I mean, again, it's Oshuala, which we spoke about. I mean, that power, agility, quality on the ball. But when we 3 against her, I mean, it should be better in that situation. It was a great opportunity for Nigeria.
Indeed. And we see Nigeria getting to the back of the net once again. And perhaps at this time, Coach, we would have thought they would be leading by a lot more, just having looked at those stats, looking at that ball position, looking at that shots at goal and on target. But they eventually find the back of the net in the 45th +1.
Yeah, the pressing ideas of Tunisia were very clear that they want to press from the midfield, sometimes go a little bit low, and make sure that they have a lot of numbers behind the ball. But, like I was talking with Aaron, that you cannot defend for 90 minutes. So they are sitting very deep in their box with a lot of numbers, and they end up allowing the pressure. Look at the goals that has been scored now. There's a lot of white T-shirts. There's numbers for Tunisian defense, but still, they are unable to pick up the dangerous players in the Nigerian team. So they need to make sure that sometimes they try to press Nigeria very high just to make sure that they do not allow Nigeria to gain rhythm, because the percentage already says a lot in possession. And it's mentally exhausting, to defend and always play without the ball. That's what I see in the Tunisian team, that they don't have the ball and they are slowly moving closer to their goalkeeper. So absorbing pressure will only lead you to conceding more goals.
All right, we'll leave it there for now in terms of our halftime analysis. We'll take a look at what changes can be implemented from both the Nigeria as well as the Tunisia point of view. As things stand, Nigeria is still unbeaten in open play against North African opposition. Let's take you through to an ad break now.
This is the NFC TV.
It's a special edition of LSE 20.
Yep, it brings you the latest league news and highlights.
Liverpool FC could not stop smiling.
Across goal,
from insightful analysis and interviews.
Glorious, glorious Liverpool goal.
You've announced your retirement from football at the end of the season. 7 years with Liverpool, 5 of those as captain as well.
Back at the Premier League. Catch all this epic action and updates everywhere for everyone on SABC Plus and SABC Sport. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
This is the Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2024. Experience the huge contest between South Africa and Ghana this Monday, 7 July at 5:30 p.m. Streaming live on SABC Plus, SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4 and S3. Also available on SABC radio stations at 6 p.m. Where Africa competes, South Africa connects. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
Coach Justin Maduka's side leading by 2-0 at halftime. What does Nigeria change going into Swambasasbil?
Not really a lot of changes, maybe just for making sure that they reduce the fatigue levels of the players. But I see on the bench they still have players, attackers like Odega. So they still have options, but I'm sure later in the game they'll make some subs.
Indeed, and when we look at the losing side at the moment, Tunisia, they'll certainly want to do some things differently, not just from a personnel point of view, Aaron, but as well as the application that they've used in the first 45.
Yeah, no, I mean, they managed to contain Nigeria. I mean, this second goal came in a later stage, but I think at the moment, the 15 minutes, the coach should probably sit back and watch actually if there will be any development in the game.
All right, so let's now take you through now to the second half of this encounter. It is the Super Falcons, the most successful nation in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, that lead by 2-0 at halftime.
Opera Nozier alongside me, the former Super Falcon. Lifted the trophy 4 times. I know a lot of your eyes are, of course, on Nigeria. What do you think Tunisia need to do differently in the second period to try and find their way and get a goal?
Oh, well, I think they should, work more on keeping the ball, because they are doing more of defensive work. So once they win the ball, they need to, try and keep it, be more mobile, be available to actually utilize the ball more and send more numbers up front. They need a definite approach to pose more threats in the Nigerians' offensive area. So if they can be able to do that, I think perhaps they can find their way back into this team, into the game. I beg your pardon.
So Nigeria set to make a host of substitutions before this second period gets underway. Uchebi. Abiodun leaving the field, which would seem a sensible decision given the fact that she picked up a yellow card in the first half, the only player to do so. And also coming on is Esther Okoronkwo at the expense of Asisat Oshuola. Final change. Babajide departing the field. She is replaced by Chiwendo Hezuo. He comes on. So what do you make of those changes? A triple substitution from coach Justin Madugu at half-time.
Well, it just goes to show that he's not under pressure, having to make those 3 changes early in the second half. And it was a very necessary substitution in terms of Abiodun. Yes, it's best to play safe so she doesn't get a second yellow card. So I think it's really a very tactical decision. A very good one.
Okoronkwo comes on. She was the top scorer in qualifying for Nigeria with 3 goals. Born in Nigeria but raised in the US, who came up for the college system there with AFC Toronto in Canada. She will take her position up top, so too Hezuo. Another basis for America with Pachuca of Mexico. Basically slotting into the position that Babajide was occupying in the first period.
And number 2 is number 19.
As the stadium announcer confirms substitutions to those here at the Labi Zaouli Stadium in Casablanca.
الخروج لاعب رقم 2 ودخول لاعب رقم 19 ذلك
That was a chance for Tunisia. I was trying to not talk given the noise of the stadium announcer. But Germazi it was. They've not had too many openings, Tunisia. And that might give them a little bit of confidence at the start of the second half. Just didn't seem to get her time right whatsoever, coming off her shoulder rather than her head. Stop talking now. Thankfully, the changes haven't been announced, but that could have been just the lifeline that Tunisia were looking for at the beginning of the second half. Here is Zemzem. Couldn't ride the challenge, a really important one from Ayinde just to dispossess the 25-year-old. Here's a player who's just come on, Esther Okoronkwo. gliding forward, trying to play it into Ajibade. There'll be a throw into Nigeria midway inside the Tunisian half, which Concho just plays it in to Uchebe. He's just come on, the 24-year-old. That's a searching cross, and that's a really important save as well from Jabrani. Well, she kept her eyes on it, and it was just gliding and floating its way into the back of the net. And she did very, very well there, the Tunisian goalkeeper, to do exactly what she had to do to prevent Nigeria scoring their third.
Yeah, exactly. That was a very good save from the goalkeeper. She was almost off her line, but she caught up at the end of the day. So it was quite a very good save from the goalkeeper. Great job.
Well, the last corner at the end of the first half for Nigeria ended up in the back of the Tunisian net. It wasn't given. Ashley Pumptree, it was just at the near post. He managed to guide it in after Jabrani flapped at it. What do they do on this occasion? Into Pumptree again at the near post, and it'll be another corner to Nigeria. They're clearly targeting this near post area, the Super Falcons. Just needed a little bit more height on the delivery on that occasion. Nigeria with 6 players in the area. Tony Payne has now gone out of the box, so in it goes again. Deeper this time, and that's a good head as well, and it's not fully cleared, and it's spilled by the Tunisians, and they've managed to get it away as well. For a moment, it looks as though a green shirt was going to get it on the end of that. Here's Ohale. Comfortable save in the end for Jabrani. Well, she was in acres of space, Osinache Ohale. She scored at the Women's World Cup against Australia in that 3-2 win for Nigeria. And she had space there as well, but she just couldn't generate the power.
Yeah, it was a good header. I mean, she got the second chance. I think it was still her that had the moment seconds ago before the last header. She's very good in those areas with aerial balls and all of that. So I think, and she actually had time to actually probably take a second touch on that ball because she had all the space. But then again, she didn't put enough power on the ball.
Chances at both ends in the only few minutes of this second period. Tunisia have now gone over 7 hours without scoring at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. And they'll be desperate to correct that in the 40 minutes or so that remain as really just shepherds that out of play. Under pressure from Okoronkwo. The Olympics and the World Cup as well did Okoronkwo. Been in the side made her debut 4 years or so ago. He really tries to get it away. Ajibade with the block. Just buys herself a little bit of space. Alozie. Salumi does really well to use her body to get between the Nigerian and the ball, and then plays it forward to Gamazi. Gamazi back into Zemzem. Striker goal from Zemzem. Well wide in the end, but once again, decent link-up play between Gamazi and Zemzem.
Well, like I said earlier, the Tunisian team, they need to have more numbers up front when they have the ball. If they really want to come back from this game, they need to commit more numbers up front. Zemzem and her partner, Kemazi. Thank you.
Well, I wonder at what point the coach will decide to call caution to the wind and see what can come out of it if he tries a different system.
Exactly.
Well, in the run-up to this tournament, Kemal Sada, the Tunisian coach, we'll come to that in a moment. Into the middle it goes, and it's a good, decent delivery. Ball in across the face of goal from Ihezro. But no one was in there gambling on it. Once again, it just opened up it has done on quite a few occasions for Nigeria in this game, finding space on the flanks. As most of Tunisia's players been down the middle. Gemazi invited forward by Zemzem. Far too much on it, and Gemazi goes down and helped to her feet by Ahale. I'm saying that Kamal Sado, a Tunisian coach, have been sharing videos of the team's display in 2022 and getting the older players to talk about emotions, advice, what they learned in a bid to really help the younger generation. And we've got defending to do now. Plumtree, into the middle it goes, and a strikeout goal comes in as well. She never really caught hold of that. Did Hezuo and Jabrani. She has been by far the busier goalkeeper. It is hard to think of Nardozio making a save. You can see that little deflection took the sting off the effort. And a comfortable save in the end for the Tunisian goalkeeper. She'll be desperate to see more action at the other end of the field. And that might just be about to happen, because Sabrine Alouzi has come off the bench and is moments away from coming onto the pitch. Free kick taken by Rooney, not for the first time today. Ahale with the header. And Hezuo. Plumtree. Koronko will latch onto this and turn out opposite number. That's a nice ball inside to Uchebe. Uchebe forward to Hezuo. He just didn't get the pass right, but that was better from Nigeria.
Yes, it is. It is better. Now, I think the midfield, the Super Falcons have been able to bridge the midfield. They've taken absolute control of the midfield now, and we could see now we have more speed in the offensive area. We see Ihezue and Okoronkwo, pushing forward now to ensure they connect those passes from the midfield.
As the ball goes out of play, and that is the opportunity for Sabrine Alouzi, the 27-year-old, to come on. She'll be replacing Betumi.
تغيير في صفوف المنتخب التونسي، خروج اللاعبة رقم 5 رقم 9 صبرين لويزي.
So Alouzi, 7 goals in qualifying. It's the second highest in the campaign, behind the top scorer Agisa Diarra of Mali. She actually scored in all 4 qualifiers, did Alouzi, who plays her club football in the Netherlands with Excelsior. And she comes onto the pitch with WAFCON goals to name, as Gemazi has fouled. And then another free kick throws Tunisia's way. The foul tally totting up for Nigeria. But she got a double, did Alouzi, who's just come on against Togo in the opening game this time 3 years ago. Both of them headers. Got a good work rate, good technique. And now they will need to start delivering. We talked about the fact that would they get the support to Zemzem and Gemazi? Well, they left both of them on the field as they brought on Alouzi and taken on a midfielder in the shape, taken off a midfielder in the shape of Betumi. And it looks as if they will now be playing with a front 3, Tunisia. And here's Gemazi, drops the shoulder and lets fly. And it was just always going away, but that was absolutely the right idea for the Tunisian.
Yes, it is. It is, and I think it would be nice for the Tunisians to indicate a counter-press approach, in this game, to actually, give the Nigerian side a bit of pressure, and just like they did a few moments ago.
Sherbet forward, but pretty loose pass there by Yahia. And not forward to no one in particular. And Halle will look long at the other end, back towards Hezuo. to touch it inside. Haj Hamoud, Plumtree. And that's hold-up play there from Hezbollah, the substitute. And she's got it back as well from Plumtree. This is nice from the Super Falcons. Important clearance, but only as far as Ayinde, who tries to bend it inside the far post. Just didn't get her angles right. Halimatu Ayinde. And you could see exactly what she wanted to do. It just wasn't the correct execution.
Yeah, that was a good piece there, but then the intention, you could see the intention was there, but then she just didn't execute it very well. But nice play between Ashley Plumtree and Ihezu. Good combination over the flank there.
The referee unhappy. Has awarded a free kick to the Nigerians, who have won the WAFCON on both previous occasions. They've started the competition against opponents from North Africa. In 1998, they saw Morocco by 8-0. I think those days are safely beyond us. And then in 2004, it was a 4-0 victory against Algeria. Well, this one's against Tunisia. And they've yet to concede. 2 goals to the good. It remains to be seen if they will be able to add any more. They are certainly trying, and they're going about it with seemingly a bit more conviction, and they're a bit tighter this half, though, Nigeria. They've started, they were loose at times in the first half with their possession, but they certainly sort of, I think that's one thing that Justin Madugu might have firmed up during the halftime tour.
Yeah, exactly. The substitution, it's really, I mean, you could see the difference. Now they've, gained absolute control over the midfield. Each time they have the ball in the middle, the Super Falcons have always bridged it, taken absolute control of the middle now, and you could actually see how it's played out.
Jiwade, served by Lamptey in the centre of the park, Shireen Lamptey. And an apology as well issued into Ajibade, but they seem better structure, just more of a unit. The 3 up top, Ajibade on the right-hand side, Hezbollah on the left, and through the middle.
Exactly.
And they just seem a little bit closer together, so easier to obviously to keep the ball, find the spaces, play the passes.
Yeah.
To have a goal to say for it, but they seem a bit more of a cohesive unit in the opening moments of the second half. Nigeria. Dinked in. Up it goes. Still not fully cleared, and really gets it away only as far as Plumtree just scoops it up into the middle. And this could be 3, and surely should be 3. And that is a horror miss. And no wonder she holds her head in her hands, Ohale, because it just came all the way through. Really inventive from Plumtree. She could see the bodies in front of her, so she did the only thing that she could do, which was just scoop it up. And somehow went all the way through to Ohale. Goal gaping, and next to me, Desire Okorinozie can barely contain herself about the fact that her former colleague has missed what is effectively an open goal.
It is an open goal. Oh my goodness, what a miss. What a miss that is. What a miss. I mean, I'm just holding my head. I mean, you can't miss that. You can't. But then, it is what it is, yeah.
If you want to be kind, Jabrani's diving body might have been enough to put her off, but still just required a gentler touch from the 33-year-old. It didn't come. Elozio forward to Payne. Payne just wondered if she'd been clipped by her opponent. Rooney thinks it should be a goal kick to Tunisia. And in the end, it's going to be a corner to the Nigerians. And the players trudge forward again, and Hale instantly amends for that horror miss just a minute or so ago. In-swinger comes in again, aiming towards that near post area, the near corner of the 6-yard box, but headed away. Solid, done so by Yahia. It should be said, it's fairly cool temperatures in nice conditions to play football, as even though the players are taking their time in this half, but it was much hotter earlier today. You feel for the Senegalese and the Congolese who played earlier in the day in Group A. That game kicking off at 2 p.m. Senegal winning it by 4 goals to 0. Really good start for them to the competition. So there you go, with the early group leaders in Group A. Nigeria trying to get a third here. Striker goal, and she just cannot keep it down. And the chances are mounting up for Nigeria. And Yinde again blazing over, but if this was a tighter game, you'd say you've got to take your chances, because it can come back and bite you.
Exactly. I mean, they've been very wasteful in this game, but lucky enough that they're leading 2 goals up, and but still, I think it might come down to goal decision at the end of the group. You know, when they are done playing their last group games, it might come down to goal difference, and every opportunity you get in this kind of game, you need to make sure you make it count, you utilize them.
They certainly do. The groups are decided on their head-to-head record, and the game between the 2 sides that end up joint top of their group are all square, and there's nothing to decide them. Then, as Ozier says, that it goes down to goal difference. Aluzia first real touch for her, but she just runs into Nigerian traffic. Ayinde. Uchebe. Hezbollah goes down in the area after losing control of the ball, and she looked at the referee more in hope than expectation. Nice idea from the substitute. She just too heavy a touch, as said. Tunisia just trying to find a way through, but unable to do so at present. Here is Aluzi. Aluzi's first real impact on the game is to concede a free kick. It's going to be Sporting in play. She just helps Pumphrey up to her feet. Clearly you can see her catching the right foot of the Nigerian fullback. And Hezbollah going down. I think the problem for her was that her first touch just took the ball far too far away. Demahin to the right-hand side to Alozie. Ajibade. Well, she had seemingly done the hard part in getting past Rooney. And in the end, she just could not keep it in play. There are certainly goals here for the Super Falcons to take. And they will certainly have to be more efficient when this competition gets into the later stages. The group phase is pretty whistle-stop in a competition with 3 groups of 4. It ends a week tomorrow. Quarterfinals getting underway in 12 time, and by then I would imagine that the teams who have got that far will be purring and finding their groove, and a bit more well-oiled than what we're seeing in these opening games, just as we saw last night with and certainly the host nation Morocco, who struggled to find their groove. No such problem for Zambia, seemingly. We're moments away from a famous win. Here's Pumphrey on the left-hand side for Nigeria. Solid defending once again by Yahia, the 22-year-old with Auxerre in France. They're a second-tier side in the French Women's League pyramid, but she's been one of the more impressive Tunisians today. Yahia. Into Okawanko, nice flick back into the middle. Ajibade tees it up for Alozie. And Alozie, not the first Nigerian today to be unable to keep it down, but nice movement, nice flick from Okawanko, and unselfish play to tee up Alozio.
Yeah, that was a very good setup by Okoronkwo, but then unfortunately Alozio just couldn't keep the ball down. Nigeria have they've done a very good job to control the midfield and take absolute control in the defense, but then the attack is still struggling to connect those final touches, and it's become some sort of a worry for me.
Well, there's a game against Botswana on Thursday, and said Algeria in the group to fine-tune things. What do you make of this group? Is one obviously the Nigeria comfortably expect to top?
Yeah, of course, obviously, definitely Nigeria is going to top the group. I say that with absolute confidence, because of what the qualities in the team and all of that. And then between Botswana, Tunisia and Algeria, I'm not sure who gets to qualify next, but then Nigeria.
There you go. Here is Ajibade, purposeful, lays it back. Better strike a goal that from Payne. Ayinde trying to keep it alive, out to Okoronkwo. Lovely bit of skill from Okoronkwo, into the middle it goes as well. Well, that was fine set-up play, and it's not fully cleared, and now it is. Jabrani diving onto the floor, but that was super play from the substitute Okoronkwo. A lovely turn. Let's look at this. Zidane-esque, and then you've got to follow it up with actually delivering as well, and the cross was pretty much inch perfect as well. Good defending in the end, but that was good quality, which we've not always seen in this game so far, but lovely skills.
Yeah, lovely skills from Esther Okoronkwo, very skillful player, and the pressure continues to build up from Nigerians. They keep up with the pressure, taking the fight to the Tunisians, but then they still haven't been able to come up with anything in the second half. But I hope if they continue to push further, stay calm in the goal area, I think they are going to get something out of it at the end of the day. But they need to be more clinical. They need to be more clinical.
Lamptey bringing it down. Nigerian player, and lucky to escape the book. I thought she was going to go into it at one point. She hasn't. Mohale cannot get her head on it. Cleared away by Haj Hamoud. Aluzi to Hanshush. Hanshush just looking to play it up the line to Zemzem. And to the frustration of Tunisia's coach just down in front of us, just smacking his hands as the water break comes along, and 20 minutes left in the game. And we've still yet to see Tunisia's all-time top scorer, Mariam Bouidj, which may well indicate that she's carrying some sort of problem with. Stand corrected, of course. But you were saying, Desire, that you don't know who's going to go through next. I mean, when you look at the sides, Tunisia, yes, they got to the quarters last time around, but then so too did Botswana. Botswana come into this competition as the lowest ranked team in the tournament. I imagine that's because of results that go way back, given the way the FIFA ranking work. But I'd imagine with some of the firepower they've got up front, they think that they could do something in this group.
Of course, they think, and the thing my belief is, I don't really believe in this ranking thing, because ranks don't play football anymore these days. Women football have, evolved so much, have, grown so much that no team is a pushover anymore. So we can see surprises in this group. It's enough motivation for Tunisia, judging from the last edition, how they performed at the last edition, and I'm sure that's enough motivation for them coming into this year's WAFCON, and I'm sure they would want to do everything, give everything to come out from this group, as well as Botswana and Algeria as well. So it could go either way. The second spot can go to either of those three teams.
That game between Botswana and Algeria coming up later this evening, and will give a very good indication of who might join, surely, Nigeria in making it through from Group B. reminder, of course, it's not just the top two in the three groups that go through to the quarterfinals, but the two best placed as third placed sides. 3 years ago, they just went through with the one win against the Togolese, of course. And they could get themselves some sort of a decision here. Well, it's come through to Aluzi, who gets a shot on goal. But the Tunisian player who went into the box initially is still down on the ground, and I think she wants a penalty. And I think she's going to stay down in the hope that at some point VAR is going to be called into action. Zemzem it was, but Aluzi managing to force Madozier into action for the first time really in this game. And we are, what, 74 minutes in, and it'll be well worth seeing that action involving Selma Zemzem once again. And that man will be desperately hoping that there was some sort of a foul. Here we go, into the box she goes the other way. Well, there's contact, she goes down, and I do wonder if VAR will be looking at that. Your thoughts, Desire Operanozier?
Well, you can actually see that these Tunisians, when given the space, they can actually do something with the ball. So I think they should, do more of this, try to push forward a lot more and commit more numbers up front. And for that action, I hope they don't get to look at it, because there's a contact there. But I think the referee allowed an advantage play, because the Tunisian player picked up that ball again and forced Chamaka to that save. So I hope they don't get to review it, because there's a slight contact.
That as a Nigerian?
Yes, of course.
But as an analyst, we need a little bit more impartiality. Personally, I think they should be looking at that again myself. It'll be very interesting to know the thoughts of the referee, Swavi Olatunga, were she to see that. And she's yet to indicate any sort of communication has come through to her. Normally you look for the left hand to go to the left ear, but she's talking to somebody in her microphone. And hang on, here we are going to VAR. Well, I think that's absolutely the right decision myself, and I think it's long overdue, frankly. Clear contact, and I will struggle to believe that this will not be an opportunity for Tunisia from 12 yards. Here's the play again. Zemzem coming inside Ohale. You can see clear as day the contact. It's actually the left foot on the left knee of Zemzem. And it makes it look as though she got her with her left boot here, but it's actually this contact here which comes in, and that's what forced Zemzem down. And we've seen it very, very often in football in VAR, certainly in recent months. If you stay down on the ground, you force VAR to have a look at things, and that's exactly what the 25-year-old Tunisian did. Well, she's still looking at the screen, Iratunga. It's a monitor she's taken a look at more than once today. I think it would be good if they could vary the angle, but this is seemingly the one that they've decided is best. Winding it back to see if there's a little push there. Well, they've gone back even further to suggest that Zemzem, as we can see, fouled her opponent before she got into the area, which could mean that no penalty is awarded here. There's tension next to me from Desire Operanozier, but she's got a bit of thinking to do here, the Burundian official. And she is certainly taking her time. But how Tunisia would love the opportunity to end this goal drought of sorts, since those goals, all four of them, against Togo. Not at the head from Iratunga, but she still wants to watch. What is vital is that she gets it right after the amount of time taken to look. The players just standing around on the field. The advice to sort of keep moving, keep warming. But here we go. What has she decided? initially in the build-up. So Nigeria possibly got away with one, but they did well, the VAR, to take it back, but they missed that initial foul from Zemzem on the Nigerian. And so the Tunisian goal drought will certainly go on, but they did well to wind that back.
Yeah, that's a relief on the side of the Nigerians, and it's a good decision from the VAR and the officiating official.
And a big decision, and she took her time, but once you could see that shove from Zemzem, it certainly put the penalty award in serious doubt. Approaching the final 10 minutes of the game, and still Nigeria unable to add to those 2 goals scored in the first half through Asisa Oshuala and Misora Babajide. Into the middle it goes, just needed a touch and she couldn't get it, Achebu. Well, it was a really good ball in, and it just needed some sort of contact. And that surely would have been 3. Instead, it appears of Tizar Ranozier are the inability of the Super Falcons to take the chances that have come their way. And they will equally also be relieved to start this campaign with all 3 points, which they are not too far away from doing. Ahale. Demahin. Mazi. Sort of touch through the legs from Lamptey, and then cedes possession to the marauding Ajibare. Payne. Just waiting for some movement ahead of her that didn't come. Ohale. Nicely spread out by Ayinde. Payne again. Ajibare. They're certainly patient, Nigeria. Right through the middle they're trying to go in. And the referee clattered into Ohale. Bit of space on the right-hand side. And this is good possession. Nigeria, can they convert it into a goal? They can't, because they've hit the post. Well, how close were they there to making it 3? Okoronkwo it was who had the strike after some really good build-up from the Nigerians. And look at that, dropped the shoulder, got away. She just couldn't get the angles right with her strike, but that was would have been a lovely team goal.
Yeah, it would have been a lovely team goal. You could see the patience, the tactical discipline, the build-up into that attack. It would have really been a very good team effort, but unfortunately it hit the wood wall, and it hit the woodwork, and that was rather unfortunate. But with this level of patience in ball possession on the Nigerian side, I think we need to see more of that. And now we got close to making it count at the end of the day.
And the substitution, Tony Payne really involved in that build-up. That was her last action. Folashade Ijamalisu is on. She's based in the People's Republic of China. She's got just under 10 minutes or so to make an impact on this opening game, as we'll look forward, and she will just slot in on the right-hand side as well. What do you make of Ijamalisu?
Ijamalisu, a very brilliant striker, plays her trade in China, and she's very skillful striker as well. Always finds her way in the right place, tries to be at the right place at the right time to score. She has that knowledge and wisdom of scoring goals at will. So I think having her in this team will actually increase the amount of goals the teams get to score at the end of the day. She's a really great addition to the team.
Plenty of attacking options for Coach Madugu. A very solid goalkeeper at the other end as well. And Nardozio, we were talking earlier about her in the first half, about how committed she was when she came out and clattered somebody. But She spoke very forcefully about Nigeria's desires to retain this tournament. She said the 2020 WAFCON isn't just another tournament, it's a mission to reclaim what's ours, which suggests that Nigerians believe they have a divine right to hold on to the Women's Africa Cup of Nations trophy. Lumptre into the middle, Okoronkwo up, and here this must be three, and it is swept home. And finally, the Super Falcons do get their third goal. And that was stylishly done as well. It's the substitute, Hezuro, who has found the bottom corner to the delight of not just herself, but her teammates as well, as you can see. Lovely scenes. And it was a nice move as well. And look at this little header there, really smart to find her in lots of space, and on this occasion, ruthless with the finish.
Yeah, very, very ruthless. It looks like it was easy, but that wasn't that easy finish at all. And great finish from Chinwendu Hezu. Nice one. I mean, it's about time they get that third goal. It's long overdue, you know. And you were talking about
divine right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were interrupted by that third goal.
Actually, that's the belief of everybody in Nigeria. We believe this tournament is ours, and there's a campaign before coming into this tournament. There's a campaign, Mission X. Mission X is about winning the 10th one. So that's the whole idea of the Mission X. We're coming here to make sure that we accomplish that, you know, take our trophy back home. It is ours.
It was certainly yours in the early days when you won 5 in a row when the competition began, and obviously you lost at Equatorial Guinea, picked up a couple either side of another Nigerian win, and then South Africa won it last time around. But given the amount of investment that the Confederation of African Football is putting into women's football on the continent, and given the rise of teams like Morocco, Zambia, obviously South Africa, the champions now, and as said, all this money flowing in to try and boost the game, you're not surely going to have it so easy as Nigerians anymore, and you possibly had the easier times, and they're in the past, and it's going to have to be a bigger fight surely going forward.
Totally, I agree with that, because I mean, women football has evolved in Africa. We've seen teams, you know, invest in women's football. They've grown over the years, and it's no longer going to be a walk in the park for Nigeria. That's totally true. And for Nigeria to win it again, they have to really, you know, fight for it every game, every step of the way, give everything. And I mean, they're not just going to grab it and run away with it anymore. Yeah.
And it can only be good for the continent, and obviously only good for Africa as it goes into major championships like the Olympics and the Women's World Cup. Demahin going into the book, as you can see, for that pretty unseemly challenge that came in on Yosra Ben Haj Hamoud. And there's going to be a substitute as well, and we are finally going to see Mariam Weege, only for what, 3.5 minutes or so, and whatever gets added on for additional time at the end of this half. Off comes Gemazi, who has worked her socks off today. And here is Weege, 4 goals in qualifying, 1 goal in the tournament last time around, and almost instantly into the action. Well, it took her less than 20 seconds of the opening game in the 2022 WAFCON Weege to find the back of the net as she lobbed the Togolese goalkeeper from outside the area. And just for a moment, I thought she might be repeating the magic trick.
Well, fortunately for Nigeria and unfortunately for her, that ball, she was nowhere near that delivery.
Nigeria now going in search of a fourth, but it's Tunisia who break away, and here is Weege. Expertly taken off her toes by Demahin. Ayinde. Okoronkwo. Hit the post just a few moments before. Hezuo, Nigeria's third. Well, that was pretty loose from Uchebe. And that was pretty loose from Aluzi as well. Plumtree. Uchebe into Ayinde. Now Jibade, the Nigerian skipper. She gets her back as well. going to end up being a very good day's work for the Super Falcons, even despite missing all the opportunities that they did so. But that is something I'm sure they're going to work on. Here's what I was going to say, looking for a second, but Tunga, the referee, unhappy with that. He just hauls it back. But they've had an opportunity to bring other players in, so it's been a pretty perfect way to start the competition. 3 goals, I know they wanted more, but to be able to feel quite a few players is also what a coach wants. He wants his players to have playing time going into a tournament.
Exactly. It's really a good decision, having every player, you know, have a feel of the game. That way it brings back everybody's confidence. They will be in a very good shape mentally and physically going into the next game. So it's good that they get to feel the game.
And it also removes the frustrations of those who are on the bench who don't come on. Swung into the middle and just onto the top of the goal net. Zemzem with the delivery. That's certainly not what she intended to do. She's running with a little bit of a hobble still from the time she was brought down a few moments earlier. But obviously you bring on the subs, and that helps the dressing room as well, doesn't it? The more people who are involved in the tournament, because there's a little less back chat from those who are not involved, so which can happen.
Yeah, exactly. And the good thing about football is, I mean, with walking away with all 3 points from this game will actually, you know, give the rest of the players, the ones that didn't get to feel the heat today, an opportunity to actually, you know, get involved in the next game, if they can be able to, you know, convincingly win the next game as well, it continues to give opportunities to every player. The coach will be able to, you know, have the time and opportunity to keep rotating them, because irrespective of who plays, who gets to play, they bring in the result.
Absolutely, and they will be ready for the bigger tests that lie ahead. Elusi, as we midway through the first of 5 minutes of additional time. I think the only downside for Nigeria today will be the 2 yellow cards picked up by Abiodun in the first half and Demahin just a few moments ago. But as long as those 2 players do not get another caution by the time the group phase ends, then they will be cleared and white, and they'll be able to go into the knockout phase without any such concerns. Well, another substitution coming as Jennifer Echegini, we were talking earlier about her desire to get onto the field in this tournament, and she's going to hope that she can manage to do so in the time remaining. She's just discussing with the officials who are registering her entry. And she's got a little over 3 minutes or so to get onto the pitch, which I'm sure she will. Demahin. Plumtree. Nicely forward into Uchebe. And they've won a corner as well. She's played well today, Plumtree, hasn't she, with her passing and probing. And here is the moment for Echegini. Echegini, who scored Nigeria's only goal at the Olympics in Paris.
تغيير في صفوف منتخب نيجيريا، خروج اللاعبة رقم 18 ودخول اللاعبة رقم 12 إشينغي أونيشي.
So she is on the field. One day it will be my turn, she was thinking 3 years ago. And today it is. Player who plays with PSG Ladies in France, and who creates danger every time she touches the ball, in the words of one of her club teammates. She's far from the action, just leaving others to be in the area for now. Ajiwado into Okoronkwo. Dinked in, lovely ball in. Plumtree with the header, that's really smart, and there's a good save as well from Jabrani, because that was sneaking in. Got the angles absolutely right. Nice delivery, good header, and good goalkeeping as well.
Yeah, and good set piece as well. You know, it was a short corner kick, and you could see that have been well practiced in training, and it's good to see that he came on target at the end of the day. Good save by the goalkeeper.
Smart save from Jebrani, and now Tunisia gets the bar. So close. Oh, what an effort that was, and they could have got on the score sheet. And they didn't manage to do so, and it was Zemzem who had the strike. So unlucky. She's given absolutely everything up top. I mean, it has sometimes been a solo affair, especially now that Gamazi had left the field, and that would have been some reward, and also given the Tunisians something to hold on to. Let's have a look at this. Does absolutely everything right. Tried the little dink and so unlucky.
Yeah, so unlucky. I mean, she's really done everything today, and that's why I have always emphasized on collective effort. You know, football is a teamwork. If only she had more support up front, if only she had